Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the Business Growth Club. This is recording number 5, the final edition in our 5-part series designed to welcome all of our new members and to give you a kickstart to your membership. Tonight's edition, Friday night's edition, is going to cover 7 different ways that you can grow your business straight away. Now, you know on Monday we looked at target markets and on Tuesday 5 marketing messages that you should always use in your marketing. Then on Wednesday and Thursday we looked at a couple of ideas on each night, ways that you can attract more inquiries and get more sales and new customers. Today we're going to look at 7 very powerful marketing tactics designed on getting more customers, more sales and more orders. Now I've carefully selected these 7 tactics, not just because they work very well, but because they can be applied quite quickly. They're very effective and they can work for every type of business. Now I've often used in these videos this week the example of a business coach and of a builder, because I think they give a fair spread of different businesses out there, whether you're a trade business, a retail business or a service sector business. Now every idea we're going to cover tonight works equally well for those businesses. So no matter what you sell, no matter what your business is, tonight's recording really will give you some great ways that you can grow your business. So why don't we get started? Okay, the first idea for tonight is 2-step marketing. Now there's really only 2 ways that we can conduct marketing. The first one is to make a direct offer. Okay, we place an advert or a sales letter that asks somebody to make a purchasing decision straight away. We might run an offer, we might encourage people to visit our website to find out more, to set up an appointment, but essentially we encourage them to take immediate action. That's why it's known as direct response marketing. The second and most popular form of marketing is brand building marketing. I'm not going to go into the theory of building a brand here because it's too complicated, but essentially we form an idea of a brand and then we circulate messages in our marketing that reinforce that brand so that it's at the top of somebody's consciousness in relation to that area. So we develop an idea and we keep reinforcing that idea so people know we exist, and hopefully that leads to sales. Now, there's a fundamental problem with both forms of marketing. The first direct sale one is too immediate and doesn't allow us to build a relationship. The second form of brand building, it kind of doesn't have enough teeth. The problem with it, especially for a small business marketing budget, is it costs too much for it to become effective. Now there is a middle ground. It's what I call 2-step marketing, because it takes both of those and it combines them together. But the combination of both of them gives you the best of both worlds. If we have a look what I'm talking about on the next slide, we have the process here. Okay, what we do is we make them an offer, but the offer is either for a very low purchase or, generally speaking, for something free. I'm going to give you some examples about that in a minute, but basically we make them a very easy first offer. So it's a direct sales offer, if you will, but it's very low and the product might be for free. Then, once we've got their details through data capture, we build trust with them. We build our brand with them. Now there's lots of ways you can do that through emails, letters, phone calls, personal interactions, and I'll cover those tactics on another occasion. But once we've captured their details, we then build a relationship with them. And then, of course, they become a full customer, a fully fledged, paid up, long-term customer, the full purchase that we want them to make. Okay, so do you see the process here? It's subtly different. It's not making a direct offer for a high-value sale, and it's not trying to build our brand. It's actually trying to attract people who might be interested in our products and services, allowing them to make a free or very low value purchase, and then focusing our marketing budget, our precious marketing budget, building our brand with people we know are interested in buying, are in the buying zone, so they become full-time customers. The objective is the same, but this 2-step marketing, as I call it, allows you to combine the best of both worlds. We're going to have a look a bit more about how we do that on the next slide. Now, I've used these examples before. We've got a business coach and a builder. We use these examples because they cover most types of businesses. Now, obviously, the business coach wants to sell expensive one-to-one coaching sessions, and the builder wants to sell a loft conversion. However, The problem with making a direct sale in either of these is it's a big considered purchase and it's actually going to take us some time to consider it. The problem with brand building is, as I said before, it's just not got enough teeth. For a small business budget, you can't afford to keep reinforcing your brand just in case these people read the newspaper 50 times and then decide to use your services. Okay, so what do? Well, we do this two-step marketing. We actually try and capture their details. So what we're doing is we go fishing for people who are a little bit interested. Not people who want to buy straight away, but people who are in the market for a business coach or a loft conversion. We make them a very soft offer, generally speaking a free bit of information, a free consultation, some sort of free support, and I'll show you the different ways we do that with some real life examples in a few minutes' time. But essentially we make a low value offer, so we capture their details. So we build a database of people who are interested in our products and our services, so we can afford to spend our precious marketing budget building our brand with the people we know are interested. I know this might sound quite a complicated theory, but just work with me for now because I'm going to show you over the next couple of slides and some real life examples how it can work. So the business coach might place an advert saying, "Thinking about starting your own business?" Visit fasttrack.com to claim your free copy of a new report, 8 Lost Secrets of Business Growth, and get your business off to the best possible start. Don't leave it to chance. Okay? So they're going out there, they might put that advert in a business magazine or on their website, and they're basically trying to get people who are a little bit interested in business coaching. If that advert says, "Book a coaching session now, sign up for a free consultation," you'll much reduce the number of responses you get. Whereas here you can get everybody who's in the market and you can start the journey with them. The loft conversion, okay? So thinking of getting a loft conversion, ? Before you do anything, get a free copy of our report, 5 things you must know before converting your loft. Call an 0800 number to claim your free copy. Call 24 hours a day. Okay? So, do you see how if I was thinking about converting a loft, I'd have a lot of research to do? Are there any legal regulations? How much is it going to cost? Is there any considerations I need to know? So if I was just in the market for loft conversion, but I might not make the purchase straight away, and somebody said, 5 things you really must know before converting your loft, maybe we could even say 5 mistakes to avoid, or 5 ways to do your loft conversion within budget, something that's attractive. I would say, I'm in the market for a loft conversion, I'm not ready to buy yet, but I'll find out the information about this company. Now remember the process we showed you on this slide. You make a low value offer, so basically you get everybody who's a little bit interested in your services, but they're not brought up to the boil of being ready to buy. Then you build trust with them through the ongoing marketing, which I'll be talking about later on, and then they become a full-time customer. What it's not doing is failing to try and get people to become fully paid up customers, buying our full loft conversion or our expensive business coaching. It's just allowing us to focus our marketing budget on our target market and a very focused group of people who've essentially put their hand up and said, "I'm a bit interested, start a relationship with me." Okay, so let's have a look what I've been saying there just to recap, because I know this is a complicated idea, but actually, once you really get your head around it, it can absolutely transform your marketing, whether you're selling business coaching or loft conversions. Okay? What happens is it creates a much higher response rate, because if you say buy a loft conversion, not very many people respond. If you say we've got some information to help you make the buying decision, then more people respond. But what happens is you then get to develop long-term trust with those people. You start a relationship with them over time. Now, when you start a relationship with them, you become a trusted provider. You become a trusted expert on that loft conversion. So when in a few weeks or months' time, and they come to buy the loft conversion, they already know about you, they've had contact with you, they've read your information. Who do you think they're going to get their loft conversion from? Of course, it's going to be you. Now, this is a long-term strategy, but let me tell you that just about every buying cycle is long-term. Apart from what we call FMCGs, fast-moving consumer goods, which is basically everything you buy from a supermarket, They just go off the shelves. Everything else is a considered purchase. Even buying a book or a DVD can be a considered purchase. You might Google a book because you've heard it on the book review on the radio. And then you might read a few reviews online. You might look at the price on Amazon, but you're not quite sure whether you want it or not. And it'll take you a while to decide. And that might be a £10 book. But when we're talking about something like a loft conversion, just imagine you want a loft conversion. Somebody at home mentions, should we get the loft converted? So you think about it, you get up Google and you do some preliminary research, okay? You actually just have a look around on the internet and you see, are there any legal barriers? Is there any information I need to know? Is it possible? How much is it going to cost? You do a bit of research. Then you close down Google and then you maybe speak to your partner about it and you say, I found out fact number 1, 2, and 3. And your partner says, what about number 4, 5, and 6? So you go back online a few days or weeks later, you research some more information about the loft conversions, you probably find some other websites, and you find those answers. Then time goes by, you talk about budgets, you have a bit of a conversation, maybe life gets in the way, you go on a family holiday or you've got some busy time at work, whatever happens, so maybe a few months later you decide we're going to buy that loft conversion. You go back onto the internet to find some providers, or even you go into the yellow pages or however you're going to find these providers. Now the trouble is, if they found your website at any other point other than the point at which they wanted to buy your services, this final stage when they've made several searches, you're going to lose out. However, if you happen to pop up at any point in that buying cycle, as I call it, any point when they were making the decision, what happens is you capture their data because they say, I'm interested in the loft conversion. These people have got some interesting information. Then you market to them over that period. I'll tell you how to do that later. So then, of course, when they finally decide several months down the line, I want to make that loft conversion happen, I've got the budget, we're going to do it, then you're right there in front of them. And you've built a relationship. So when they then pull up the internet, or whatever they, the yellow pages, whatever they're doing, and they say, who is going to provide this loft conversion, you are not just another advert. You're a trusted partner. You've had a relationship with them. Who do you think they're going to go to? All roads are leading towards you because you've built that relationship. Now, you can't do that with direct response marketing or brand building marketing. You can only do that with this two-step marketing. Now, I ask you, what buying cycles do your customers go through? And the vast majority of people listening to this will have customers who consider the purchase over time. Okay? Think about when you bought a new car, you went on a training course, you made a purchase in your business like a photocopier, you did some home improvements, be it like we said, a loft conversion, a conservatory, a garden, a driveway, some new furniture, a new kitchen, a new bathroom, you had a new website in your business, you got a new solicitor. Just look what your customers do in your business, and just about everything goes through a buying cycle. People consider the purchase for a long time before they make the sale. Now, what two-step marketing allows you to do is it allows you to focus your marketing on those people who've put their hand up and they said, I'm interested. And because they're interested, then you build that relationship. You're spending your budget on people who are highly targeted, and then, of course, you increase the number of sales. Okay? I hope that makes sense, and I hope the theory will work in your business. Now, before we look at any examples, I just want to bring up this second idea, the second way of generating leads into your business, which is data capture on your website. The reason I'm mentioning this is because it links absolutely perfectly with two-step marketing. Now, there's plenty of opportunities on your website to capture people's details because people are browsing your website because they're interested. Now, let's imagine they browse your website because they need a loft conversion and they've Googled it and they've found you. In the early stages, they just want to know what it's all about and is there any regulations and all of that sort of stuff. If they find your website then, they're highly unlikely to come back in several months' time to find your website because they just can't remember it. They do a different type of search. You've lost them, okay? Whereas if you have data capture and you offer them that report we talked about or some other information, then of course they're very likely to apply to that. You can take conversion rates doing this from maybe 1% on your website to up to 30, 40 and 50%. So you massively increase the number of people who are interested, and of course then, as I've said, when they're ready to buy, you've already marketed to them. So this works brilliantly on your website. Most people say to me, I've got a website, I paid a fair amount of money for it, and it doesn't work. Now just adding data capture, and I'll show you examples of how you do that, either on your home page or on somewhere else on the website, you can dramatically increase the number of inquiries from your website. Might not be direct inquiries because they've done the data capture, they're interested, you market to them over a period of time and then they make the inquiry. So they have the initial data capture, which you could class as an inquiry, but essentially it's people going into your marketing system, you spend a bit of time marketing to them, then they generate an inquiry. So in the longer term, you introduce more inquiries into your business, and we'll look at several ways that you do that. Now the third idea is a lead page, which is very similar to a website. A lead page is a website page, except it's got nothing else on it other than data capture. So you're not even directly trying to make a sale, you're just trying to capture their details. It's a different page to your website. Okay, this is hopefully the slide when it all starts to make sense to you. I know I've talked a lot about the theory, but really, if we understand the theory behind this, then the practice becomes so much easier. And I know that if you apply this in your business, you can get those great increases in conversion rate that I've talked about. Now, I've talked about the marketing strategies involved, how we make a direct offer, or we do some brand building. And I've said how for a small business's budget, then that's too much. We can't afford to do that. It's too imprecise. Whereas I've explained, people go through a buying cycle. And if we capture them at the start of their buying cycle, then we can communicate to them, we can bring up our awareness and our brand with them, and then we can make the sale when they're ready to buy, not when we're ready to sell. And that's the crucial difference. Okay, so let's look at these examples then. They are real life examples, the ones I've used. These are just examples of how it's happened on a website and a lead page. But don't forget, you can do all of this two-step marketing offline as well. It can work just as well for your sales letters, your postcards, your advertisements, anything else you're doing. We're just going to look at some websites for now. So I'm going to pause this recording, pop over to the internet, and show you some real-life examples. Okay, so we're here on the internet now, and this is a lead page, one that I've used in my own business. Now, I know because this recording is actually quite small, you might not be able to read this too well. You don't need to. You'll just be able to see what it looks like on the screen. Now, you'll see that this is a lead page. It's different to a website because there's no other navigation buttons, okay? There's no headline at the top where you've got a company image and a navigation bar asking people to move around. A lead page, like I said before, is different to a web page because it just invites you to do one function, to get the details out of people. Now, people call these squeeze pages because you squeeze people's details out of them. I don't really like that connotation myself. That's why I call it a lead page, because you're generating inquiries for your business. But basically, this is used straight off Google for search terms such as growing your business, how do you grow your business, business struggling, how to get it moving again, that sort of stuff. So the target market is people who want to grow their business, because they're the type of people I want to talk to. However, I know those people go through a long buying cycle. They want to understand why their business isn't growing, why is it struggling, what can I do about it. So I want to capture them at some point in their buying cycle, because it's unlikely I'm going to capture them at the point when they want to buy, and I want to build a relationship. So the sole purpose of this web page is just to capture their details. I just want their email address so I can continue to do brand building marketing to them, so that throughout their buying cycle I become a trusted advisor to them. Now, this might be when people have typed in, reasons for a loft conversion, how do you do a loft conversion, legal requirements of loft conversion, all of that type of stuff. It doesn't matter that this is a business growth example. I've used this just because this is obviously my own copyright and I'm not breaching any client confidentiality, but this could be any business in the world. The sole purpose of this page is to get people's details, not to make a direct sale. And you see the difference. If this page said, looking to grow your profits, Why don't you have a meeting or buy a block of coaching now? It would be too soon, and they'd leave the page. I want to actually increase my response rates from 1% to 25, 35, 45%. So this works by having a benefit-driven headline, looking to grow your business, get free access to our videos, 7 low-cost ways to get more sales and profits. To access our video series, just enter your details below. We'll then send you the recording that's jam-packed with profit-boosting strategies straight away. There's a video that automatically plays. As I say, I've paused that because it will interrupt with my audio, but there's a video which works very well on these websites. Okay, so the prospect just enters their details, so johnsmith@hotmail.com. That's entered into there. They click send me the video, and then they're added to your system. I'll tell you what happens once they're added to your system and how you do this brand building marketing in the long run in this two-step fashion a little bit later on. But essentially this is how a lead page works. This can be a page on your website, or of course it could just be a normal website that's out there that's on your pay-per-click campaigns, and I'll cover that in more detail later on. But essentially you're giving them an easy first purchase, a free first purchase, a golden carrot, so they come onto your website. Then you've captured their email address, and now you're going to build a relationship over email. So whilst you're building a relationship with this person, they're going through the buying cycle of wanting to buy your extension, they're wanting to put a conservatory on, they're wanting to do the business coaching, they're wanting to go and do whatever it is your business provides. They've started that buying process with you, and you're there, you're communicating with them. So this is a lead page. I said you could do it on a website or a lead page. So that's a lead page. Let's see how you do this very same example on a website. Here is a website, as I say, one that I use. You can see this is different to a lead page in a couple of ways. First of all, it's got this graphical header here. This is a normal website header, and it's got links to all the other pages on the website. A lead page doesn't have any of those. The simple point of a lead page, and it generally speaking is coming off your pay-per-click account, you're using Google AdWords or other advertising like that. You're sending them onto this page, and the express purpose is to get their email address. This is just a way of optimizing your website. Instead of just saying to people, would you like some information about our company, the loft conversions we offer, the training courses we offer, the conservatories we offer, the different services we have for people looking for a new whatever it is. This is a new accountant in this example here. It could be any business in the world. Instead of just having a normal website, which you see very much on the left-hand side here, with a headline and some buttons and everything, this is the data capture. Now what's quite important is the video. Again, I've paused it because it'll interrupt what I'm saying. But the video works by communicating with the prospect. It's in the top right corner, which is a good position on a website for a video. People listen to it, they're drawn in, and it's saying to them, if you're interested in X service that we offer, why not have some free information about it? Then you've got this arrow here pointing down. Type in your details, blah de blah de blah. Here I want their name, so it'll be John, and then johnsmith@hotmail.com. Send me the video. The reason I want their name is so that in the email marketing, which is the way I'm going to build my brand, whilst they're going through their buying cycle of deciding whether or not they want to purchase, I can say Dear John, or Dear Dave, or Dear whatever, rather than just sending somebody an email. So there's a two-step data capture there. The more boxes you put in there, the lower your response rates. Just asking for an email address and their first name is okay. If you start asking for more details, like their company name, then your response rates decrease. But of course, the people who do enter are more interested. So this is how you transform a totally normal website, which is a very good website for SEO. It gets a lot of inquiries. There's good content on here. All of that sort of stuff works, but of course, people have to be right at the buying point to either use the telephone or the email service. With the data capture on the right hand side, where it says there's a video, see what we're offering, enter details, the advantage is you're capturing the details, and this website generates several inquiries every week via what's on the right hand side here, compared to maybe 4 to 6, maybe 8 in a very good month when it didn't have any data capture. So that's a huge increase. Yeah, and this is not targeted traffic. If I was paying through pay-per-click, I send people to lead pages like this and advise you to do the same. Whereas with your website, people say to me, as I said before, I've spent a lot of money on my website, but it doesn't work. Well, one of the ways you can make it work is to add data capture. Of course, the other ways is by using unique perceived benefit, your core benefits, adding some offers, using social proof, and the call to action, the other stuff that I've talked about, and you'll see some of that on this website as well, and you should add that. In the future, we'll look at many different ways you can optimize a website, but this is just one idea. Now, this doesn't have to be for data capture, by the way. There are other ways you can do this. The data capture here is simply for a free video or a free report. But if you wanted to make that have an appointment straight away, there's no reason why you couldn't. I've talked a lot about the two-step marketing because it's a tactic that works. However, there's still nothing wrong with trying to make a direct sale. And if I had on this website just all the normal content that I'd have on a website, and then on the right-hand side it said, would you like a meeting, arrange a meeting, enter your details, I'd still be much more likely. You see, what a data capture box does, especially with a video, is it jolts somebody into action. It says, hello, I'm here, enter your details. If you look at this big, ugly red arrow pointing down, I know that's ugly, but actually I've proven with myself and lots of other campaigns that arrows like that grab attention and people respond to them. So when that's a static arrow, measure websites to the nth degree. This might get 20% conversion, so I'll change an arrow, it might get 22% conversion. Then I'll change a capture box, I'll get 24%. Then I'll do something that was a mistake and I'll drop a bit, so I'll reverse that. Always test, measure, and adapt. But the fundamental point I'm trying to get to you is, apart from the right hand side, this is just a normal, dare I say, boring brochure website. I think it's fascinating because I wrote it. People who come onto it don't, because I get not very many inquiries. Now we have a data capture box, lots of inquiries, and people start that relationship. So you've seen there how it works on a lead page, where I just want my details, and how you can optimize your website. Now there are other examples I could show you. I'll just very briefly show you this one over here. And this was a magazine campaign that I put out where I advertised and I was after busy professionals. And this is a data capture box. No video on here. This is a couple of years old. If I was to do this today, I'd probably invest in a video. But this could be good for people, like I said, about the loft installations. Maybe when you do loft conversions. When you're doing a loft conversion, there could be dangers involved. You could be warning, avoid the 5 pitfalls of converting your loft and capture their details there. The whole point is to catch people, as I keep saying, in their buying cycle, because it's only probably, maybe they'll go onto Google 10 times, and once it's to find the supplier. The other 9 times it's to find information. At that buying cycle, do you see how you increase your percentages ninefold to start that relationship? Okay, here's another example of how to use lead pages. This is pure lead generation here. So this isn't optimizing your website. This is another tactic. Tactic number 3, the lead page. Now I send out, for this campaign, a postcard, and this goes out to people who are new businesses, and it targets them, and it says, would you like an appointment? Would you like an accountant who can help you to grow your business? And it points them onto this web page. Okay, so there's a special web address of this. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. I think it's something like newbusinesssuccess-nated.com. But anyway, there's a specific domain. They come onto this website. The postcards already advertised it. I talked on Thursday about how good postcards are in video number 4. And it drives people to a website. If you do that, then people go and explore and they look more about you. Again, this hasn't got the graphics on it or anything like that. This is purely a video, which I've paused, a video to pull them in, a headline at the top, the data capture box, where it's asking for their details, and then it's saying, here, in the details, I want their name, their email address, their phone number, and their comments. That's because if they're to have a meeting for 90 minutes with us, of course I want to know more about them. I need to telephone them to arrange a date, etc., etc. So there are times when you need to capture more. So this is when I'm running a specific campaign, trying to offer people an opportunity to meet with us, and I'm using a lead page as a great way of taking them offline online, and this always increases your response rates. So yesterday I talked about postcards being so good. They are brilliant. If you add a link as well onto your website, you'll increase your responses again. Okay. Another way that you can add the responses to your postcards is then doing a telemarketing follow-up. So you get the responses from the postcards, then the people on your website, then the people from the telemarketing. Do you see how it all pulls together? Another something, you probably can't read this because of the size of the video, but because I'm offering these new businesses a session to see if they'd like the services, I don't think that's good enough these days. I don't think offering a sales consultation is good enough. So whilst here I'm going for the one-stage marketing, I'm just trying to get the appointment straight away, I've not really called it an appointment. I've said it's a free, no-obligation meeting, but I've said it's a powerful 90-minute session in which I'll show them ways to grow their own and managed business. I'll give them 3 little known but easy to apply strategies that they can add thousands of pounds to their business, and I'll give them powerful solutions to the financial challenges in their business. And as a thank you for meeting with me, I'll give them a free copy of my latest book. So do you see how even if you're just offering people a sales consultation, you can sex it up, if you will, and you can add value. So this is for a loft conversion, for instance. Instead of saying I'll come out and do the measurements, you can say I'll do an audit, I'll make sure that you comply with regulations, I'll give you the information about the legal requirements and all the other requirements involved. So whether you choose our building company or another building company, at least I've given you some valuable information. So you attach a value and a meaning to every session you have with people. Of course, that just builds trust, it builds reputations, and it increases your sales conversion. So that's how this works. That's another lead page. So you've seen how specific lead pages like this one and this one work, and you've seen how just on your normal boring brochure website, I know you think it's fascinating, but your website's boring to most of your visitors because it's all words. Add a nice little video and then add the data capture box, and you'll increase your response rates a great deal on your website. So even if you just want to make direct appointments or direct sales on your website, data capture like this is a better way of doing it. Don't worry, I'll be showing you how to do the follow-up. I'll be telling you how to get websites like this and the costs involved later on. I'm just trying to introduce you to the theory of it now. So that's it with our little interactive bit on the internet. So I'll return back to our slides and we'll carry on with our next strategy. Okay, strategy number 4, ways to grow leads in your business and get sales in your business, is email marketing. Now, I've talked a great deal here about capturing people's details on your website and in other forms of marketing. So what do you do once you've got their details, okay? Well, you do email marketing to them. What I don't mean here is buying a list of email addresses and bulk mailing. Whatever you do, don't do that. It's a waste of money. You'll get a spamming report and you'll end up getting blacklisted, and you'll end up emailing me saying, how do I stop my company from being blacklisted? Or how do I remove myself from the blacklist register? And I don't want to tell you how to remove yourself. I don't want you to be on there in the first place. So don't email people at random. This is people what I call opt-in, people who have chosen to join your mailing list. So it might be your customers, very good starting point. Then your prospects, then people you know in your network, ask them if they'll join, and then of course the people who subscribe through your website and the data capture. So when you've done all the data capture, you do email marketing to them. So as I say, during that buying cycle, what you do is you send regular emails giving them valuable information. So with their loft conversion, say they've gone onto your website, they've downloaded your report, the 5 things to do before you consider a loft conversion, and then every week they get an email from you, maybe 10 reasons why a loft conversion is great, or even 10 reasons why ABC builders are the people to work with. So not only have they got valuable information, every week, which is a good frequency, you send them an email saying, reason number 1 to use ABC builders, reason number 2, reason number 3. So when they do finally get to that buying decision, I need someone to do it. Who are they going to pick? Like I said before, everything is pointing towards your business. Now I'm going to cover how to do email marketing in more detail in the future. Like every strategy I'm coming at today, I'm just giving you an overview. I could have spent all 5 videos just on email marketing or just on websites, but I want to give you loads of ideas. Number 1, so you can pick a few and get on with it. But number 2, so you know that there's so much stuff you can do to grow your business, and hopefully it's inspiring. But I know it's a little bit broad at the minute and not so deep. Don't worry, we will be going deep into all of these topics, and we'll be focusing on them. And of course, you can always ask me questions about it. But for now, to get your email marketing up and running, you need email marketing software. Don't send it from Outlook or Hotmail because it doesn't work very well. Get some software. Now, the ones I would recommend if you're a brand new business is Constant Contact or Aweber. Google those and you'll find the websites. I personally prefer Constant Contact, but a lot of people prefer Aweber. Both of them give you a free trial so you can open it up. It's so easy to use. You can create emails, you create a list of people, and you send to them. They're very good pieces of software. They'll cost you, for a list of up to 500, about £10, £15 a month. So it's as good as for nothing. So they're very good pieces of software. There's very expensive software out there. I wouldn't buy that until you're an experienced email marketer. Okay, I have a list in the several thousands, and I still do my small, quick campaigns through Constant Contact, and it handles that level of list. It'll take you a while before you're up to, I think I'm up to 4,850 people on my list. So even I've got a long way to go before we need any of this expensive software. So just get the cheap stuff, start using it. Email marketing is really powerful. It's brand building to people who say they're interested in your company when they're in the buying zone. Yeah, so you're spending your precious time and marketing budget where it's needed. Don't worry about HTML or plain text. Like everything, I've tested this to the nth degree with my campaigns and so many clients. In fact, on my own marketing to that list of nearly 5,000, it's split about 4 ways. I've got a very graphical HTML email that I send people. I've got one which has got a few graphics but not so much. I've got one that's nearly plain text but does have bold and slightly bigger writing, and I've got one that's totally plain text. Do you know the answer to the question of which one works best? Actually, all of them just about perform as well. Slightly the plain text and slightly up from plain text ever so slightly outperform the HTML and the little bit of graphics. But it's not a big enough percentage. Really, it's not statistically all that significant. So don't worry about paying a graphic designer to do a HTML email or anything like that. If you do want to, it'll only cost you about £80 to get someone to do a HTML email. So if you want a graphical one, do it. I would say if you sell products, or you sell to young people or people who are interested in graphics, say you sell diamond rings or something, then HTML will work. If you sell professional services, if you sell trade services, something like that, then I'd say plain text is more than suitable. Obviously, if you're a business like retail and you sell physical items all day long, that's what you do, then maybe HTML will work and I get some good photography. But don't spend more than £100 on an email. I don't want you to waste your marketing budget. And track your results. Once you open up the email software, if you use Constant Contact, Aweber, or if you find something else, then you'll find you can track your results, and you start to see your open rates, your click-through rates, your bounce-back rates, who's interested, and really you can experiment. So like I've said there, I see whether HTML works better than plain text, and I experiment with different marketing titles. So I'll have a subject line, and I know which ones work better, and I constantly improve. So that's email marketing, hugely powerful. Don't dismiss it. It doesn't mean emailing bulk people. It's emailing people in your network. It really is a way of putting your personal connections and your personal contacts onto a whole new level. Okay, idea number 5 is to go out and find your niche. As you can tell, I'm a huge fan of targeted marketing and having a targeted offer. Why? Well, number 1, it's the best use of your time. Number 2, it's the best use of your budget. Number 3, it's actually more effective. If you're a small business, you don't have a great size budget, you don't have very much time, you're very busy running your business. So focus on the people, like I said in the 80-20, who give you the most profit. Now on this slide I've said go and find your niche. Whoever your niche is, if it's people who want loft conversions, are they in a certain area of town? Obviously they're not going to be people in a bungalow. I'm not being that stupid. But there's probably an area of town where people convert lofts. Maybe it's, I don't know, I'm guessing now. Is it bigger houses? Is it smaller houses? Is it richer people? Is it poorer people? I don't know. But there definitely will be a demographic split. There'll be a certain type of person, maybe a certain type of town with a certain type of house that's amenable. Obviously, I have seen people make big mistakes here. I've known driveway companies to send out thousands of flyers to a bulk area, and a load of them were houses which didn't have, or flats, which didn't have driveways. It sounds obvious, but it's a really stupid mistake. Essentially what I'm saying is find your niche, whoever your target market is, and go out and find them. Do they go to events? Do they read a certain type of newspaper? A certain type of trade journal? What about the online advertising? What websites do they go to? What search terms do they put into Google? Do they go to events? Could I turn up at those events? Could I exhibit at those events? Could I do a seminar at those events? Could I send people useful information? Go and find your niche. You know these people are worth a lot of money, and you've given them a really good offer because you followed our advice. So really, go and find them. Don't let them come to you. You should go to them. Hunt out your niche. Go where they go. Okay, the second to last one here is offline networking. I've given you a lot of quite new ideas in these recordings, and I've given you a lot of technical stuff like the website and the data capture and all of this. I'm going back now to an old-fashioned form of marketing in offline networking. I mean these networking events where you go, you have breakfast, lunch, or maybe it's sort of dinner time, and you have something to eat, and you have a cup of coffee, and more importantly, you meet people and you form relationships. Now, I've put this on because whenever we ask small and medium-sized businesses, what's the best way for you to get business? They always say it's word of mouth. Well, obviously, networking is word of mouth. It's word of mouth on speed. It's not just people talking about you, it's you starting conversations. Now, marketing is very cost effective. It's not very time effective. I personally am generally busy during the day, so I can only ever do networking before sort of breakfast meetings or evenings. You might be the same. You might be busy during the day. There's probably always events you can go to, but they're very cost effective. Probably £5, £10, £20 a meeting is all you're going to pay. You can meet lots of people in a short space of time. You can get your name and your brand out there. And if you pick the right networking group, it's people who are very much either in your target market or they've got relationships with your target market. They could become third-party introducers. Whilst I will talk in the future about how to optimize networking, it is relatively easy and it doesn't really require any expertise. You can get very good at networking. But on the basis of it, if you turn up, you've got a good USP, you know your benefits, you've got some social proof, you've got a nicely designed business card, hopefully even on the back of your business card you've got your data capture on your website and you tell people to go on there. That's all you need. Go out to these events, make some connections, especially if you're a newer business and there's maybe your budget's quite small and there's not much going on in terms of marketing. Why not go to a networking event? Of course, the whole objective is it's going to build long-term relationships. And of course, once you meet people offline, you can start to build your relationships online. There's people I still communicate with, or campaigns I run for clients where we're still connecting with people that they met once at an event several years ago, and then they become customers because of the LinkedIn connections, the Facebook connections on the emailing list, and that sort of stuff. Finally, networking works for every single type of business. I've personally passed introductions to people like builders, electricians, plumbers, tradespeople, retail outlets, as well as professional business people. This idea that if you are a service business, networking works, and if you're a trade or retail, it doesn't. It's completely wrong. In fact, the bigger introductions I've made have been to people who have been in trades or retail. I guess that's just the way it pans out. But I know people in those industries that work so well for networking. I just repeat what I said at the beginning of this slide. Whenever small businesses are asked what's the best way for you to get business, they always say word of mouth. Networking is word of mouth. Don't dismiss this, whatever your industry. Okay, the final idea, it's number 7 for today, but it's actually number 20 we've given you since Wednesday. We've given an awful lot of ideas, but this is maybe the best. Facebook advertising. As you can tell from these recordings, you won't find anybody who's more fascinated in marketing than me. You'd be hard pushed to find someone that does more marketing than me and more testing in marketing, both my own campaigns and with my clients. I'm absolutely fascinated, and as you can see, I'm into networking. I'm into the direct mail. I'm into the online world. I'm quite broad in my interests. But when this Facebook advertising started to emerge, it's similar with LinkedIn, I became so much more interested than I've ever been because it's so effective. It's so cheap at this moment in time. Obviously, it's going to go up as more people use it, but it's so cheap and it works incredibly well. Basically, very quickly, because in 2 months' time we will explore this in a lot more detail, because I've got a lot of tests going on with Facebook advertising. And in April or May, those tests will be completed, and the seminar you'll get in the post from us, the monthly one, I'll be covering this in great detail. But just for now, just bear in mind that you can target people, because people on Facebook give out all sorts of personal information. What's happening in their life, what they like, what they don't like, what their profession is, what their sexuality is, what gender they are, where they like to go, what they drink, just everything. They tell you absolutely everything. Well, you can really tap into that information. That's gold dust. And you can say, I want people who have said they're moving home, people who have got this type of update, people who've got this type of profession. It really is an amazing form of targeted marketing, and you can use it for the one phase or the two phase marketing we've talked about. The next time you log into Facebook, just have a look down the side and you'll see advertisements. The advertisements you see aren't the ones I see or the ones that somebody else sees, because they're highly targeted to the person based on your profile. Facebook, from all of the information you so very kindly give them, profile you, and they say you're this sort of person, this is happening in your life, and this is what you do. And of course, that is absolute gold dust to a marketer. Okay, so we've got to the end. You'll be watching this on Friday night or perhaps over the weekend. This is quite a complicated video. Hopefully you'll watch the beginning bit about two-phase marketing a couple of times if you want to let the theory sink in. I promise you it will make a big difference if you start to execute that theory. But we've got through 5 sessions. Hopefully this has achieved my objective of giving you a great kickstart to the Business Growth Club. And this is just a tiny taster of all of the stuff that's going to be coming over the next couple of weeks. What I want you to do now is to decide what of the information we've given you you're going to implement. If I quickly run through the pros, cons and costs of today's stuff, the two-step marketing, well, it builds trust. That's the huge pro, and it increases your conversion rates. Obviously, the downside is you need good content, you need a good offer, and it is a long-term strategy. The cost depends on what you're doing, of course. Adding data capture to your website massively increases the marketplace, massively increases your conversion. The disadvantage is it's non-human contact, but then a lot of the stuff you're doing will be. The cost is low. As I said, if you go to your web designer, they should charge you a few £100s to put in a normal data capture. A video like the one you saw on those websites, again, is a few £100s. Any more than that, then start to wonder. Sometimes what's happened in the past with the Business Growth Club is people have listened to my advice and they've gone to the web designer and they've charged them a few £1,000s to do really simple stuff, and then they email me telling me proudly what they've done, and I can't believe they've spent 10 times what they need to. It's not their fault at all. So I want to caution you now. I'll try and give you an impression of costs. And adding data capture to a website is a few £100s, not a few £1,000s. The same with a lead page. It's highly effective. It's great if you're going to do the online advertising. The price for putting together a lead page is just a few £100s, and that will include autoresponders. If you want someone to write all the content, add another few £100s. Again, another few £100s for a video. So someone will probably give you a combined package for maybe £500, £600, £700. Don't pay any more than that. I've heard of people pay thousands of pounds. You don't need to. I want you to spend your precious marketing budget wisely. Whilst I'm mentioning these areas, you probably already know people, but if you're ever short of introductions, then obviously we've got a list of people we work with here that we can make introductions to. So if you're looking for good people for web design or adverts or whatever, then if you're struggling, do ask us a question and I'll tell you some good people to go to. Email marketing, it's got a huge reach, it's really cost effective, and it's a total open goal, especially if you're doing two-phase marketing. The cons are it's getting ever more difficult, but then all marketing is getting ever more difficult. But the open rates are becoming a challenge. But that's just your challenge to be creative. It does take a bit of time as well to write quality emails, but the cost is very low. The fifth idea was to find your niche. That's highly targeted, it's going to work. The cons, there just aren't any, just do it. Obviously the cost depends on what tactic you choose, but I'd advise you to get out there and do that. The same with networking, very low cost. It is a bit time consuming, but then most people still find it gives a good return on investment. The huge pro is it gives you personal contact and it gets you out there into the community where people have connections with your niches. That's where you've got to think about it. The final one, and I've almost left the best to last, was for Facebook advertising. The huge pro is it's very targeted, very effective, very cost effective right now, and you set your own budget. You can say just spend £100 a month, £100 a day, £100 a week, whatever, and you'll stick to it. It does take you a bit of time and dedication to get good at it. Like all online marketing, you've got to perfect it first, but it really could have a great effect. And as I say, in a few months, we'll really be focusing on that area. So there we are. That's one powerful theory of marketing for you in the two-step. And that really is, it's like target marketing. It's a huge theory, but if you apply it in your business, it will make a difference. I've given you 4 online tactics, I've given you a great method for going out and finding your niches, and a very effective offline strategy in networking. Now what I want you to do now is not just listen to these videos and hopefully say they're great, but not apply what I've told you and the ideas I've given you. If you look below this video, you'll see something that says one-page marketing template. Click on that, it'll open up a PDF. In there, it gives you space to record your target markets, your 5 key marketing messages, how you're going to follow up, and then there's a list of the 20 strategies I've given you. I would advise you to tick a couple of them and then write a deadline for when you're going to find out more about them or start implementing them. Also in there you can ask any questions, and if you want to send me those, I'll be happy to answer them. So I would take action. There's the template just below this video. If you scroll down, you'll see it there. If you can't find it, you know our contact details, we'll send it over to you. Okay, so that's it, the end. It's Friday night. You're probably watching this on the weekend, in all fairness, but I've given you one video every week. I promised you that if you're an ambitious business owner, you want to grow your business, I'm going to give you everything you need. And hopefully you can see from these videos that that's exactly what we're going to do. I hope it's given you a great kickstart, and more importantly, I hope it's inspired you to know that you can grow your business. People can help you to grow your business, and you will get the success if you apply the strategies we've explored. Going forward, every week you'll get an audio recording from us, which is just a quick win you can apply. Every month you'll get a DVD or CD in the post with something in more depth. And then, of course, please ask those questions, because you learn so much by listening to other people's questions. They can often give you ideas. And, of course, if you've got questions, then please we'd like to answer them. So I hope this has been useful, as I say. I hope it's a good introduction to the Business Growth Club. I'm going to really look forward to putting together all the content that we have in the coming weeks, months and years. As I said before, you won't find anybody more fascinated with marketing, and you will be hard pushed to find someone who does more marketing than me. And I'm really looking forward to bringing you a good combination of good old-fashioned marketing that works and some cutting-edge new ideas. So thank you very much for listening, and I wish you every success in growing your business in the future. Goodbye for now.